Are you looking for tips to help you complete your first marathon? If so, then watch this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sinead here. In this video today, I want to give you some tips to help you complete your first marathon. Undertaking a marathon is a very big commitment and requires a lot of dedication and hard work. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have a lot of emotions. Things are going to be up and down. There will be days when you won't want to go out training, and then there'll be other days where you had a really good session. So I did my first marathon in October 2014 and I set myself the time of 4 hours. I completed the marathon in 4:01. To be honest, I was a bit devastated that I came in 1 minute over time, but I learned from it, and since then my running journey has really progressed. In January 2017, I did 7 marathons on 7 continents within 7 days. Yes, you heard right, 7 marathons on 7 continents within 7 days. So I went to Antarctica, Chile, Miami, Madrid, Marrakesh, Dubai and Sydney, Australia. So I have a bit of experience within me to talk about marathons, so let's get into the tips. Tip number 1 would be know your reason why. Why are you doing the marathon? You need to know this because on the days when you don't want to train, you need to have that at the forefront of your mind. Some people will be doing the marathon because they have signed up because they're doing it for a charity. Some people will want to lose weight. Some people will want to get fit. Some people will want to do it because their friends are doing it. So just know your reason why. And for me, that has helped me in the past. It has helped me get out the door when it's lashing raining and when I haven't wanted to train. So that is important. Tip number 2, get the basics right. You really do need to get the basics right. And what I mean by that is don't try to do everything at once. Get gradual improvements, and that will bring you to the start line. Getting to the start line is the most important thing. You don't want to put in a lot of hard work over a 16-week period and then suddenly get injured. So getting to the start line is important, and the only way you do that is by getting the basics right and having gradual improvements rather than trying to do it all in one go. For the remainder tips, I've asked my run coach John and an athlete he coaches, Jan, to share their tips. I hope you enjoy them. The reason why I've asked John and Jan to give their tips is because both of them are very experienced and very knowledgeable. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is John. I'm a running coach, and over the past few years I've helped coach hundreds of marathon runners to marathon success. I'm going to share with you a few of my tips that will hopefully help you do the same. My first tip would be find a training plan. You'll find plenty of plans online. You'll also find them in books and running magazines, but you need to find a plan that will suit you. You need a plan that will fit around your lifestyle rather than trying to fit your lifestyle around the plan. Look for a plan that has a weekly distance that will be the equivalent of what you can actually do, and have paces equivalent of what you can actually do. If you're a first-time marathon runner, your objective should be just to finish the race, so don't get caught up on fast, complicated sessions. Keep it simple. My second tip would be know what you were going to do before you actually do it. So if you were going out to do a long run, know that you were going to do a long run. That way you can prepare for it mentally beforehand and you know what's ahead of you. Don't just wing it, know what you were going to do and mentally prepare. My tip number 3 would be to try and add some variety to your training. That can simply be changing the pace, changing the distance. Or if you live somewhere that's flat, you can seek out some undulating routes. If you live somewhere that's mostly concrete, you can try and get yourself to a local park and run on the grass. You might have access to a beach where you can run on the sand, or you might live near some local trails or canal towpath. All of these changes in terrain will help decrease your chances of getting a repetitive strain injury. And if you have access to a gym, then you can also run on the treadmill. I find the treadmill is a great training tool. Running is a simple sport, so don't complicate it. All these tips are very simple and you probably knew them already. So good luck with your training and happy running.
Let's now hear from Jan.
Hi, my name is Jan from @Jantastic2 on Instagram. I'm going to give some tips on marathon running for beginners. I myself have ran a couple of marathons already. I've done about 6 so far. My very first marathon was in 3 hours and 43 minutes, and I've now reduced that time down to 2 hours and 52 in 2019 at the Dublin Marathon. So here are some of my marathon training tips to help you along your way on your marathon journey. My first tip would be that I would advise to join a running club. So I would look up whatever your location is at your local running club and go down and meet up with the rest of the guys and get a good coach behind you as well that can guide you through the process safely, because it is a long process of 16 to 18 weeks depending on how long you're training. So my advice would definitely be is to join a running club. My tip number 2 would be to make sure that your training is consistent and that it's also enjoyable, because if you're not enjoying the training, then it's obviously you're not going to want to go out and do it. I'd also obviously advise that you try and get in a long run if you can, and try and incorporate that with some of your running buddies from your running club to make it just that little bit more enjoyable, and before you know it, you'll be finished. My tip number 3 would be around fueling. Make sure that after all your training and even during the training that week that you're making sure that you're fueling with plenty of water. I'd also advise that you take on enough of a healthy diet as well, so making sure that you're incorporating your carbohydrates and your protein. And it's very important that you ensure that you're getting the proper fueling in after a training run within the 20-minute gap afterwards. This is to enable you for your muscles to recover after your training run and allow you to run the next day. My tip number 4 would be to ensure that you have a good pair of running runners. I would advise to go to a proper running shop and ensure that you get a gait analysis done so that it ensures that you are getting the right style of runner for the right foot, because it all comes down to comfort. Remember, you are going to be running 26.2 miles, so you want to make sure that your feet are looked after so that your legs will continue on to finish the race. It's also important to make sure that the clothing that you're wearing, your kit, is also of comfort as well, that it's not too heavy or too baggy. This will stop any chafing that might happen when you're running. And I'd also advise to maybe on some of your long runs to test out that kit and make sure that you're comfortable with it and that you're happy that if you were to go to the start line on a race day, that you'd be happy with the knowledge to know that everything you have done has been tested. So my tip number 5 would be around rest and recovery. This is a very important part of your journey for your very first marathon. This is to ensure that when you're going into the next session that you are actually recovered and that you can tackle that session and be comfortable to know that you've given it 100%. It's very important that you understand this and that you do it, because you don't want to obviously to start getting injuries when you're coming into your marathon training, as this can have a negative effect on your training session. So it's very important that if you're not feeling 100% that you can take a rest day. Rest days are just as important as a training day. So they are just some of my training tips for your very first marathon. I hope that everyone's training goes very well and that you cross that finish line with a big happy smile on your face. Good luck.
If you would like to learn more about John or Jan, then I'll put their social media links in the description box below. I hope you've liked this video and that you found the tips useful. If you have liked the video, give it a like, give it a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to hear similar content in the future. Until next time everybody, stay safe, have a great day. Bye.